Hello and welcome to Camera Centre UK's podcast. Today we have Tyler, who will probably be my co-host in a number of these ones if we need to fill in a week. And when we're on together, we'll probably end up talking about camera gear and stuff that's been going on through the year, through the week, through the month. I don't know. Whenever this gets
Whenever
made.
things happen. Things happen when they happen, and we're just going to get on with it there and then.
Well, that's very philosophical. I mean, I like the philosophical aspect to how the podcasts have been going so far, which has been pretty good. But Tyler, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I basically work at Camera Centre UK.
Do you?
And yeah, so it's a bit of a giveaway.
Yeah.
So my job is I'm the guy that manages the social media. So essentially, me and Stuart work together all the time.
Yeah.
Social
talk about
hours.
ideas, talk about what we're going to be doing next and all of that.
Yeah.
And
we work social hours and we work anti-social hours, but we work together to get what you're looking at done.
So you do the social media.
So we do the social media stuff
and
as well.
we work together quite a bit, which we do. You've also been on a number of videos, and I feel like people like you more than they like me, which is sad.
No, don't be so mean about yourself.
Well,
I mean,
you're trying every video you try and put in. It's just like, well, I'm better than Stuart. And
yeah, but that's just to wind you up. I mean, you leave it in the edit.
I do leave it in the edit because, to be fair, I do all the editing. But yeah. So, anything else about you? Are you a photographer?
I am a photographer, yeah, by trade. So professionally out of here, I do portraits, I do events. I basically just go where people will have me.
Okay.
Really. I shoot Nikon, which I know there's a slight rivalry between me and Stuart.
There's not a rivalry. Can we just clarify? A lot of it is jokes.
Yes.
Yeah? Because, I feel like when it comes to a lot of different camera brands, people are like, well, Sony's better than Canon, or Canon's better than Sony, or, whatever Nikon is.
Yeah.
But realistically, camera's got to suit the person that you're with, and and for the most part, it's our jobs to help you figure out what what cameras are good and be good for you.
When you come into Camera Centre, for example, so we're not going to be like, you need to buy Sony, you need to buy Canon, you need to buy Nikon.
No.
Like, we're going to ask you what you want to buy, and then we're going to encourage you to make the best decision for yourself.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Wholeheartedly, is I think we pride ourselves on our ability to be honest when it comes to kind of like which camera's going to be best for whoever it is, and I think that's a good thing to do. Really,
but just take it that all cameras are good and they all do something that you want them to do.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
finding out what you want to do. I say to people when they come to the shop, it's like buying a car.
Yeah.
Right? They all do the same thing. They all get A to B. Some people like a BMW, some people like an Audi, some people like a Ford.
And some people like a Nikon.
And some people... Bye. Joking. So yeah, gotta get paid. So
no. That was a joke. I do actually believe Nikon cameras are really good, and we did try out the Z8 the other day, and it's a camera that. I come from a video first kind of way of thinking, and Nikon, although when they first started putting video in their cameras, they were quite popular in the video market. They've never really truly embraced it up until the point where content creation has pretty much become the main thing that a lot of people worry about. And what I'd say out of the Z8, Z9 is that they are incredibly capable cameras and they're really interesting to see. And I believe they've also got that Blackmagic RAW which coming into it.
They do, so they have built-in ProRes as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Crazy. I'm sure some other brands don't even do that. So, and it's 8K capable as well, the Z8, which is another step up from 4K, 6K.
One thing I never understood when it came to the XQD cards, because it uses XQD.
It uses CF Express, but it can take XQD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the original Z cameras took XQD, and then when they went to the Mark IIs and then the Z8, Z9, they went to CF Express.
Oh, okay.
After that, but you can use the same software.
Fair. Well, no, it's just one of those things that I feel like Sony keep abandoning these cards and giving them to other people.
Yeah.
We're on the Type A on Sony at the moment, which they are really cool, but
they're expensive.
They are very expensive.
I mean, they're amazing.
One I do want to try out, and I've been trying to speak to Holden about if I can get access to it or pay for it, because I would, is they do Angelbird do a terabyte Type A card for less than you would actually buy one of the other things for like,
Yeah.
I mean, like with the 500 gig one.
Well, that was the thing, because they all came out really crazy prices.
Yeah.
And I say crazy, they're fair for what they are.
Yeah.
Right. But then there's going to be, we all know there's going to be a moment when a brand comes in and goes, we're going to do it for half the price.
Well, the other thing is Angel Bird's actually a really good manufacturer of things, because they do it all they do like specialist designed ones for the Ninja, the SSDs for the Ninja, which I use for my Ninja, and I like them quite a bit, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And I'm pretty sure they work with Nikon cameras too, so they're quite varied.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes Nikon can be funny about that kind of thing. But I know. I'm pretty sure they work.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they do. So.
I'm pretty sure they work. They do.
I
the
haven't tried
thing.
it, but I heard a thing that someone said about Angel Bird working in Nikon. So.
Yeah, there you go. That's exciting. Someone's coming up the stairs. Who is it?
Hi, Callum.
Hey, Callum. We should get Callum on next.
We should get Callum to stand in between us, but he's not. Oh.
Hang on a sec. We're gonna. And today's guest
is a guy with a surname, which is Jessop, which we all find hilarious.
Do you want to know someone's hilarious surname?
It is actually. It's way better than my actual surname, which we'll keep off the record for now. Not for any legal reasons, just because, you know.
Yeah, you got to love Welsh surnames. What? Yeah. So that's all about you?
Yeah, that's all about me. So what about you, Stuart? Because we've seen you a lot, and we've seen a lot of what you do, but tell us about you and life.
Me and life. So it all started in 1994, where I was gifted to the world.
Right. Okay.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
Like, you know. No.
Well, to you, yes.
So I'd like to talk in a lot of the podcasts we do and some of the videos we do as well about kind of like origins of creativity and stuff like that, because I feel like everyone has their origins, but a lot of people don't necessarily talk about it too often. And you know, I think with me it was throughout my childhood, my mum and like literally filmed us as we were growing up. So and then, you know, through that my stepfather then introduced me to doing photography, and I absolutely loved it. I wanted to be a photographer for a very long time, and then I wanted to be a an architect after watching Grand Design, and then I wanted to be a graphic designer after I don't know what, and then I finally switched to video when it came to college and university. Well, kind of college and university, and I've always kept myself quite varied in that retrospect. University is where I got into doing video, really, and I started by doing videos of buskers.
Okay. Cool.
Which was a lot of
Yeah, you
fun.
mentioned that in another video, because there's quite a few of our videos surrounding sort of music and buskers.
And at the time they were doing quite well, and it was nice to you know I wasn't charging buskers for the videos. I was literally producing these videos for free at the time because I was in university, and I just wanted to get my name out there, but also produce some cool content. So me and a friend of mine, he did the audio because I didn't necessarily understand it, and I did the video for it. And for that, it was literally 3 600D Canons.
Okay.
That I borrowed from.
The 600D was an amazing camera.
It was.
I had a Canon.
I still rate it till today.
Yeah. I saw a 550D in the cabinet the other day in the shop.
Yeah.
And I went, oh my god, that's the first camera I ever owned.
I think in terms of like a training camera, because when it comes to the photography world, like specs for megapixels go up and down, specs for autofocus go up and down. But if you want a camera to truly learn, getting yourself a used 600D, I think will save you a lot of money, but also it's a great way for you. For example, if you're looking to get your kids into doing photography, excellent camera.
It just gives you enough that it's basic enough, but it's not so basic that it's it's rubbish,
and,
you know.
And I think we're like touching on that a little bit more. Is like if you get that camera with a plastic, fantastic, because I do think the Canon 50mm f1.8 is probably the most unique 50mm f1.8.
Yeah.
In its ununiqueness, because it was literally just plastic. It was 90 quid second hand.
Yes.
Still is till today. I don't know.
Yeah, I owned one. Because like I said, before Nikon, I was Canon, and I had the
Were
first.
you?
I was, yeah. And before that, I say before that, when I had a 550D, which by the way I shot weddings on.
Yeah.
I did, and I learned that manual selection option as well, which by the way was amazing at the time. Because you had like 14 focus points or whatever it was. Yeah. That 50mm though was one of the first lenses I bought after I bought it with the 1855.
Do you know that was actually my first introduction to Camera Centre, was buying a 50mm.
Really?
Yeah, it was back when the shop was over the other side of the arcade, where they just had, I think they had Newport and just Central at that point.
Okay. My first experience at Camera Centre was I bought a lens cap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Expensive
From
purchase.
a lovely lady called Tash, who no longer works with us. I'm sure she's watching. She sold.
Made that sound like she passed away. Or
No.
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 With a
She's
lovely
still
lady called
Tash
Tash.
is still very much alive. Just putting that out there, okay? Sorry, Tash, you're not dead.
No.
But I bought a 58mm cap, and that was my first experience.
Yeah. I think what was interesting is that I did experience, like, I think one of dwindling people that experienced the old shop. And it was an experience because it was, this company's been going for ages now, right?
Yeah, I never went into the old one because it's the hairdressers now, isn't it?
It's the hairdressers now, yeah. But the old one, it was entirely different to what it is now. So, where they moved over to the other side, they have a larger shop floor in an amazing arcade, and it's entirely awesome in that respect. And then, like, after university, after university, I'd worked a little bit at a traveller's hostel, so managed to talk to a lot of people around the world, which was really lovely. And then I ended up working at Camera Centre after that.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you've kind of got a very similar story to me. So I started out doing quite a bit of free work before I started getting paid. And look, I'm not going to advocate just do everything for free because, it doesn't suit everybody. But doing stuff for free gets you on the radar. Once you're on the radar, then it comes from that. So did your experience have that same trail?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that I think today there is an unhealthy kind of like hustle culture. I think there is, but there is a certain point where people need to realize that you need to work hard and work at something to be able to do it, because there are plenty of people that want to be in the position that you're in. But also, like, when you're just starting out, be prepared to do something for free. At the end of the day, you can't go into someone and ask for 200 quid when you don't actually have a thing.
And I get people who come and ask
and I don't
me,
charge 200 quid. I charge a lot more than that usually. But that when it comes to starting out, that's kind of what, once you get a portfolio, you're like, you'll start building up your prices.
That's it. I mean, when I started doing weddings, for example, I did the first 5 weddings for free. The first ones, and I was assisting another photographer. So I wasn't taking on myself and then totally messing them up, because that's not the way to do it.
And I think that's actually an interesting thing to say there. I think when it comes to starting out doing something, look to be able to assist someone that's already trained in an industry or something like that.
I can't stress how good it is doing that, because one, it gives you room to make mistakes, which you're allowed to. So I've got a couple of people who assist me, and I let them make mistakes. I allow them to, because I know that I can cover everything properly. But it gives them the scope to go, oh, I've messed this up, so now I know what not to do when I'm getting paid. And 100%. That's the easiest way to do it. And people always go, well, you should pay everybody for their time. Yes, but make sure their time is worth paying for.
Yeah, exactly. And I entirely agree with that. And then from there, I worked at Camera Centre for a long time, and then I started doing weddings with a company. And I enjoyed that for a while. COVID happened. I just couldn't do it anymore. Just mentally, physically, whatever. It was too hard. And it's one of those things where, like, I was lucky in the position because weddings were no longer, and because I worked for the company, I didn't necessarily have,
like I had the same kind of experience that you did, which was like, I'd done weddings for about 13 years by that point. And at that point I was like, do you know what, I really just would love something new and something fresh and something different. And at that point COVID came along and everything stopped, and I sort of went, well, this is kind of the opportunity to go, hey, if you want to go corporate, or you want to go product photography, or you want to do something else and switch it out, now is like the perfect time.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happened. So I ended up getting into doing ad content because at this wedding company I was always really good at short form content and I really enjoyed it. So I just kind of looked to see if I could push my skills onto doing that. So I worked in another company for a little while, and then after that me and Gav started Rain Video, which we still run till today. And then we
and it's done really well.
Yeah, no, we've managed to achieve a lot with it over the last couple of years. But I must admit, the one that I think I've been enjoying more recently has been the camera center stuff. I like talking about camera gear. I like creating unique things every time, and it's kind of what I want to be as a creative.
Well, pulling you back to what you said earlier about you wanted to be a graphic designer, and then you wanted to be this, and you wanted to be that. Yeah. For me, I wanted to be an actor.
You wanted to be an actor?
I did want to be an actor.
I could see it.
Yeah, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to do. I wanted to be a film director at one point as well.
Yeah.
But acting for me was always a thing. And then I went into photography eventually. Obviously, went into video.
Yeah.
And now here we are doing a combination of all of those things.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Is, crazy acting, directing,
and producing. This comes into the last podcast that was shown because this will be actually released in 2 weeks now. Yeah. Yeah. So, the last podcast we did with Morgan, we talked briefly about this saying, which is history doesn't repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme.
Yes. I've heard that before. You've said that a lot. I think you need to get that as a tattoo.
I probably need to get that. I like the saying because I think, there's implications across the board for that kind of stuff. So it's like some bad, some good, and I think things have like a cyclical nature about them.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's that belief in things that's supposed to happen for a reason.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
And they happen the way that they do because they do.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
Okay, Sarah.
I have a question for you, Stu.
Oh, you got a question for me?
I do, yeah.
I never really get questions.
I know. Well, co-presenter, got to flip things up a bit, So, when you first started at Camera Center, you were in the shop.
Yeah.
And you work in retail. Now you're doing this.
Yeah.
How different does it feel?
What, now doing this?
Yes, in yourself. And are you happier?
Well, if we actually go to the Camera Center YouTube channel, the first video was made 4 to 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was actually by me.
Yes, I saw.
So it's one of those things where at the time I would have loved to start doing this, but the majority of what we've been producing here, and I'm not going to say 90% of the gear that is used in this, but 60 to 70% of the gear used to produce this is mine. So I'm at a stage where I can actually, do this and do it to a good enough quality.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing is, comparing being a salesman, and I was a good salesman. I did quite well.
Because I worked with you for a bit I think you came back for a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, I've always come in and out, and it's one of those things where I think a lot of people can understand this. Being a creative, sometimes there are times where you're not as busy, or you've got to earn the next rent money or whatever. So I've been lucky enough to know Nick and Terry for a very long time, and they've always helped and supported me throughout the career. And it's like that for a lot of people that I've spoke with when I was actually somebody in like a salesman in a store, but also just people that I've talked to over the years doing this.
Yeah.
So I did a video with Vanguard Tactics, who are now on 50,000 subscribers, but they're doing quite well, and they do little miniature war games and stuff like that.
The war game stuff.
But he's got an incredibly good story. I have to link it. But what was so crazy about that is he actually bought the first camera he used to start his YouTube channel, which he that's what he does for a living now. He actually bought that at Camera Center UK. And we've always tried to support him here and there throughout the thing, and it's like that for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Harrison at that tattoo show as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who have either just done this as a hobby or done this thing. We have customers that have shopped with us for 10, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, that's it. It's keeping the retainer going, and it's keeping people coming back to Camera Center. Is the fact that we're not just a company that just, you buy something, goodbye, see you later. We're not that. It's an aftercare thing.
But it's one of those things that I think can only be done by a family-run business.
Yes.
You've got all these big chains out there, and they do really well. They do the numbers, but like I think one of the things that you'd be surprised at is how well Camera Center does.
Yeah,
because of, I think, that family
for
nature
us,
to it.
I think we have like a 0 staff turnover.
Yeah.
So everyone that was here 2 years ago is still here.
Yeah.
And that it gives you someone that you can go back to. You want to speak to this person. I have customers that come into the shop and only want to speak to me.
Yeah.
They don't want to speak to even the director. They just want to speak to me.
Yeah.
And vice versa with other people. So what we build is that personal connection. And a guy rang me up 2 weeks ago, and I remembered everything he bought.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't get that if you went to somewhere else,
100%.
where it's a bit more corporate and a bit more,
And then to kind of like answer your question through being a salesman in the store to now running the YouTube side of stuff, I've always thought that Camera Center's needed this as a whole, really, because for one, the branding's good, the family nature of the business I think is excellent, but also I think it has the potential to be something that's interesting, but it also, we're not at the stage where we're massively corporate, where we've got like 100 stores or whatever. We're small, but we're human at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's it. And I feel like if you go into somewhere or you go and speak to a group of people and they just talk to you like they're a family member of yours, then it's so much better than just having a corporate response.
100%.
Or a robotic response, because you know what the answer is before you ask the question, whereas you can come to us and I'll actually tell you as it is.
Yeah.
Or you tell them as it is. Or
whatever. Yeah, 100%. So I think, like I said, I think there's a lot of potential in this Camera Center YouTube channel, and that's ultimately why I wanted to get onto it, because I wouldn't be doing something if I didn't think there was massive potential to it.
Yeah, and you've also got to enjoy it, mate. That's the thing.
And I've also got to enjoy it. I've always got on really well with everybody at Camera Center. And I honestly can't wait to see what this becomes. Like this excerpt now will be taken out and put in a video 3 years from now, and it will be like,
this is where we were.
Yeah,
and
3
years from now, future us is going to be cool.
Yeah, in the same setup.
But
Stuart set it up.
Like when you came back and you started doing YouTube full time. How many subscribers did we have? About 20. 30?
Oh, when we started this, that's starting the YouTube channel. So we started at 21.
When we teamed up and we
started at 21. Now we stand at, this last month has done particularly well.
It's just shy of 700, right? Now, if you think doing this, a couple of months?
Yeah, just shy of 700.
The actual growth over the period of months is good.
And yes, people grow faster, but the trouble is that this area is very contested because everybody likes to do creative stuff.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I think what we've done quite well, and maybe this is something that you could comment on, to be honest with you, is try and add a different aspect to what we're creating out of the videos themselves. So what do you think compared to other... We're not going to name any names because it's not right comparing. But what do you think of what we've managed to achieve so far compared to other?
The first thing I was thinking about is the quality going to be good, and then I saw what you produced, and then I went, okay, I don't need to worry about that anymore.
Okay, that's good then.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think it really matters when you see like a really poor quality podcast or video or anything in general. And you're just like, nah, switch off. Yeah. I'm one of them people.
Yeah.
I'm sure maybe you are as well. I'm sure a lot of
Oh no, I switch off quick.
So because I'm like proper ADHD, like if you haven't got my attention in the first 5 seconds, forget it.
Yeah.
And I think what we've really tried to do is build on that.
Yeah.
But in terms of how it compares to say other people that are doing it, what I find with ours is that ours is just more, you can kind of personally connect with it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And what we want to know is we don't necessarily just want to talk to you about camera gear or lenses. We want to talk to you about you, specifically you. And get deep.
Yeah.
And get emotional.
Get emotional.
And we're okay with that because at the end of the day, we serve our customers in the same manner, 100%. Right? We serve them as human beings, and that's exactly what we're trying to do.
And I think when it comes to the podcast, that's been a really interesting experience, because you got these people that have a really personal experience as to why they're into photography. You have Dan Enmarsh, who really lovely, just all around just lovely chap. He has this personal experience with his dogs, and going around doing that, but also he was in the military, and using a camera actually helped him get over it, kind of like, because he thought of a camera like you would see it like how would you click together a gun and stuff like that. So it helped him to convert something that may be considered an unhealthy habit into a more healthy
there's
habit.
So much of that, and I think if you look at the back of COVID, and we actually did particularly well during that period of time as a company, and it all comes back to that therapy, and that's sort of, shall we say, keeping yourself distracted, keeping yourself occupied. I mean, I've done it loads. Like, I shoot wildlife. I don't even like wildlife, but I'll do it because I'm bored or because I'm having
100%.
a rubbish time.
And I think there is something about photography. Now I'm talking about like specifically photography, I think is therapeutic, and I think I've noticed that since I've been using the Dream Lens that came in, because I was so excited about playing that.
Oh my god! But you see your face when you realised that was sat in the shop, and then you were also partially annoyed at me because I didn't tell you there was one there.
Yeah,
and I didn't actually know that you cared that much.
That thing is rare.
I know it's rare, but I didn't think you personally would care that much. But you
I would. Oh, dude, I am nerdy about camera gear. If I ever see a Hasselblad X-Pan in there, because that's the camera that's my dream camera.
Okay.
I will legit be like, oh my god, I need to try it out. Never be able to afford it.
If anyone out there has actually got one of those, please bring it into the store for Stuart to play.
Yes. Yeah. Won't say no.
We'll tag you in our videos. I'll tag you in the videos.
But it's one of those. What I appreciated out of that, just aside from it being like a dream lens that I've always wanted to have a play with, aside from that, I think what I found interesting and therapeutic about photography is going out taking pictures, and it's what I really liked about those videos we did recently with Dream Lens, and actually talking to like people in public and being like, hey, I'm from Camera Centre UK, I am just going around taking photos for fun, and this is for social media. Do you mind if I take a photo of you?
That's it. Because we didn't really plan or structure that, did we? We kind of just...
No, not at all. I was actually... That day I found it, I was actually supposed to be shooting ad content. And I was just like, I'm going to go out and do it, put the video together that day, and then set it up into the group chat.
Like today we loved it. And the same thing. Today we didn't plan to do this.
No.
Did we? Like this morning was like, should we podcast?
Well, okay. Yeah, you say we didn't plan. We were going to be doing this.
Yes.
Okay.
We were going to be doing this. Just I didn't realise it was this morning.
Tyler, like working out when Tyler's here or not is like half the...
It can be tricky, sometimes.
So, I think it was a good chance to get this sorted. I think we've actually probably talked for a really long time.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we can talk about at the moment?
Well, it's not that we're running out of things to talk about. I feel like we talk about that for like the foreseeable future. Okay. Overrated and underrated gear.
Oh, okay. I did think about this when you mentioned this morning. I thought, well, what do I not like? And then I realised that actually the bane of my life is camera straps.
Camera straps. Yeah. Okay, so I think from your perspective they're overrated. I think the right ones are underrated.
I agree. I own about 12.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, because I keep losing them, then finding them, then before I found them, I replaced them, so I've got lots.
The one that I use and I always come back to is the Peak Design Slide.
Yes.
I genuinely think that one is probably the best one on the market if you want a camera strap that is comfortable, efficient. I've even used it on my FX6, which I really shouldn't.
Yeah.
But it's
by the way, the strap we're going to link down below so you can see.
Yeah, the strap will link down below. But I think that's really good. I do think camera manufacturers need to stop putting that stupid strap they always have in the bag.
Oh yeah, what a waste of time. I throw it straight in the bin every time.
Or if you're actually going to be doing a strap, do a good strap.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
Like I know a lot of people still use those straps. I would say, like, put some quality into it, because
100%.
9 times out of 10 camera straps, they just end up becoming garbage.
I think camera companies at the moment are really good, because like we had Vida in recently from Sony going on about recycling boxes.
Yeah.
And I think what a lot of the camera companies need to do, and this is all of them, by the way, every single one of you, do a recyclable strap. but make it better quality.
Yeah.
Like a recycled leather,
or like a vegan leather,
or a vegan leather, or just something that's not going to disintegrate in 6 months' time.
No.
I agree with you on peak design. So I have a slide light.
Yeah.
Do you have a slide?
I've had the slide light. I have the slide. I've had all of them, and they lose them,
but
and then they buy them again. It's one of the one of the products that I keep coming back to, no matter what.
Yeah, 100%. And the fact that they're so easy to take off as well, with those lugs, it's awesome. But I've also owned Black Rapid. I've had Black Rapid harness, which I use for when I'm carrying. I've
never really done that. I know a lot of people use it. They tend to be more photographer.
Yeah, most
harnesses
won't because you're working off one system at a time, but or it's separate from you, the second one. But as someone who carries 2 cameras, shoots stills, I use a Black Rapid dual harness, which is actually so comfy.
Yeah.
So I wore it for most of a wedding recently, and I wore it for Pride, which was 2 days back to back. No back pain, no neck pain, just me legs hurt. And that's about it. Because I was doing a lot of running. But I used to have a real bad problem where I used to carry 2 separate camera straps, and I'd get really bad neck pain. And then coming onto the harness system when does that is amazing. But if I'm just using the one, then I use the Peak Design, because the Peak Design is the best one.
All right.
In my opinion.
I kind of think this kind of moves into camera bags. All right. I appreciate people that use the pull along cases.
Yeah.
They would end up pissing me off.
Okay.
They would end up annoying me.
Beep time.
They end up annoying me because I
don't
don't want to drag it round, and it tend to be something that I'm going to end up bashing against everything. I'm going to be worried about it. I like having a backpack, but I also carry a lot on my back.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to admit why I use a rolly bag, because I know you brought this up because I use one. Okay. I use a Vanguard 5090 Sky. Sky one. It's because I'm weak. Okay? And I'm small, right? But the thing is, I have to carry like 2 camera bodies, 4 or 5 lenses, 2 flash guns, blah blah blah, all the bits, right? And carrying it on my back can hurt, right? Because I'm not a strong guy, so I carry it, and it would rather just my one arm ache than my whole back. But I'm also at the point where I will take more than what I actually need to take with me, so I'll take the roller bag and the backpack.
Okay.
Because then I'm not carrying 2 backpacks. So it's easier that way. Plus, if you go traveling, really good for. I actually stuck it on a National Express bus. I would not advise doing that.
That sounds like a really bad idea. Why did you do that?
Because it was my only option at the time. And so I put all my camera gear in the bottom of the bus. And it was fine. Durable as hell. But the extra benefit with the wheelie bags is that if you break the wheels, most of the time, I know Vanguard will do this, and big shout out to Neil at Vanguard, will just replace the wheels for you if there's an issue.
Fair enough.
But the wheelie bag's really good. The backpacks, I've got one of those. I've also got a shoulder bag. I don't know if you own a shoulder bag.
Have you got the City?
No, I've got the
City. I like that bag a lot. One problem with it, doesn't fit my laptop.
Okay.
If it fit my laptop, it would be perfect. That would be my everyday use.
So I actually have 3 different brands. So I'm not loyal to anyone in particular. Sorry about it. So I have a Vanguard bag, which is the rolly bag. I have a Lowepro Pro Tactic, which is my backpack. Pro
Tactics, I think, have been a staple for camera bags for a long time. I think they might be a bit overrated.
They're actually really not.
Aren't they?
They're really not.
Gonna have to give it a go.
Because they are the most durable bags I think I've ever bought.
Is it?
And one giveaway of that, so I shoot a lot of concerts and events. I'm near police quite a lot and security quite a lot, and they will buy stuff because they're rugged, because they need to be. And most of them, if they've got camera bags, have Pro Tactics.
Okay.
So they are a really strong bag.
Okay.
One of the strongest one.
I'm incorrect.
Shoulder bag, I actually have a Timber DNA messenger bag.
I would say Tembo are great. Don't necessarily like the look of their messenger bags. But they look a little bit too camera baggy.
And this is the thing that I argue with people, right? I don't buy camera bags to look good. I buy them to be durable and do the job that I need them to do. So I'm not concerned about what they look like.
No,
but there is that aesthetic to it. You are.
No, like with me, when I'm saying they look too camera baggy, with me it's I want it to blend in. I don't want it to look like a camera bag.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm not somebody that's worrying about the looks, maybe a little bit. But like. My main concern is, does it look like a camera bag? Is it obviously a camera bag?
I wouldn't say it does. Personally, the Timber one. I mean, If you know what you're looking at.
Timecode do some really good backpacks.
Yeah.
Like I had the Axis.
Axis is a great bag.
And that backpack can store so much. Yeah. I moved from that into the Vanguard what's the one?
They had the VO Select.
I think, I moved that into a
49, 49 is it? Yeah.
Yeah, no, so I moved into the Vanguard VO, the Select series.
Yes.
Like it lots, it's really good. Only criticism on it is the top compartment. It wasn't cushioned in any way, shape or form.
Yeah, I did find the padding was a little bit flimsy, but
when it comes to me, I carry a lot of camera gear, and I've moved back to my old camera bag.
Yeah.
I tried and true and tested, and that's the Peak Design Everyday Backpack.
Well, I had my first camera bag when I had that 550D was a Loper.
Was it?
Yeah, my grandmother bought it for me from a camera shop in Moynhead in Somerset, which is where I'm from originally.
Moynhead.
And
I'm from Somerset too. We should call this the Somerset Camera Podcast.
We should call it the Somerset. We should call it the Carrot Munchers Podcast.
The Carrot Munchers, no.
Or the West Country.
I'm not going to say what I was thinking of saying.
But another funny story that me and Stuart are actually from the same neck of the woods.
Yeah.
And we've ended up in Cardiff, not knowing each other previously.
Yeah.
So.
But it goes even further. We actually went to the same college as well.
We did go to the same college, and we did the same course, but at 2 different times. So I think you were a year ahead of me.
Yeah,
I didn't reset yet. I'm actually older than Stuart. Okay, I'm 30 this year.
I'm better looking though.
Put in the comments below who's better looking, me or Stuart.
I like what you did there. Did you see? He did a smolder, like specifically to make him look better.
Yeah, I do this thing. It's when I take my glasses off. That's when you need to be worried. What were we saying? Yeah, we were in the same course.
Yeah.
You're 1 year younger than me, but you were a year ahead because I had to do a reset year 6 form because I messed it up. And decided that I don't want to be a scientist now. I want to be a photographer. So I dropped psychology and then went to media.
Fair enough. So underrated versus overrated gear.
Yes.
Before we get distracted.
Yes. What have we just done? We've done underrated, right?
We kind of going.
Oh, we dabbled. We dabbled. Okay.
We're dabbling.
What would you say then is your most underrated lens?
Underrated lens. I can't say the 35 because I spoke about it way too much.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a lens.
Mm-hmm. I should hope so.
I got several.
Yeah.
I got a lens, and it's a 15mm Lauer macro, super macro lens.
So it's not one by one dimension.
It gets to the point where you can put your fingerprint up to the lens and it will focus on it.
Oh, lovely. Nice. Okay.
That thing is freaking mental.
Yeah.
Super sharp, broken.
Yeah,
glued together.
I can see the purpose of Lauer lenses, and I can see why they're great. I've never owned one. I know that I'm pretty sure they made a Nikon Z mount one at some point as well.
Don't know.
But it's not something, because I don't shoot that kind of stuff. It's not something I've ever gone, oh yeah, I'll buy a Lauer lens, because I'm not a macro photographer, or I'm not shooting other stuff. But I can appreciate them for what they are. They just look kooky. Yeah. I agree.
What's an overrated lens for you?
Overrated. I would say I'm not a huge fan of long telephoto lenses.
No?
No.
You say this, but
it's because I'm weak.
Every day you're like, Stuart, we should take out the 180 to 600
I do say that
Nikon.
because it's relevant for our customers.
No, it's not. It's relevant for him.
It's relevant for me.
It's relevant for the customers, yes. Yeah. But also, it's Tyler wanting to try out a lens.
I just want to try out new lenses that nobody else has got, and that's why I get like that. But yeah, I would say because I don't shoot with them. I would say they're probably the ones that I would say are overrated or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that they're bad.
No.
It's just that I can't afford them, and 2, I don't use them. So why would I say it's overrated? Or underrated if I don't use it.
Well, you use a telephoto. You got a 70 to 200.
I do have a 70 to 200, but
that's not. I don't think that's perfectly rated because they are just good lenses.
They're awesome lenses. They're what we consider one of the 3 Trinity lenses, and they're amazing. But when I mean long lenses, I mean 4, 5, 6, 7, 800. Well, 700. You know what I mean. But the 70 to 200, I can't live without. To be honest with you, because without that, I wouldn't be able to do half the jobs that I'm doing easily. because it's sharp as shit.
So what I found funny when we did the photo 101 for the primes and zoom lenses,
yes,
is that you totally made yourself out like you're a prime shooter.
Yeah.
Now there's this thing, I swear, is in that
It's true.
people who shoot primes all the time are like, oh, I'm a prime shooter, and I'm a prime shooter. I like telephone, I like zoom, so
yeah.
But I am one of those people that have been like, I'm a prime shooter, and via me being a prime shooter makes me superior.
Well, there is that element to it. It's because prime lenses are sharper.
They are sharper,
but I do shoot zooms often. I'm 50-50 with it. I'll be honest with you. I shoot primes a lot and I shoot zooms a lot.
Yeah.
I just go with what I feel like doing.
Thing is, I think the general argument when it comes to people who shoot primes all the time is, and against people who shoot zooms all the time, is like, oh, you're being lazy. Why not just move?
Yeah,
but
that's rubbish.
That's a bit stupid,
It's
because
nonsense.
there are situations where you're actually going to be able to get more good content because you got a 70 to 200.
The way that I see it is, would I rather shoot primes and risk missing potential photographs that my client is asking for, or would I rather shoot zooms and guarantee my client that I'm going to get them everything that they want? And that's what it comes down to.
I think it comes down to every kind of lens has its things, and I think with that, primes are overrated.
Okay. I'm so offended.
They're not. They're amazing, but I think zoom lenses are better than people would give them.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Like people would give them credit for.
I just apply it to the circumstance, personally. I just think, do you know what, today, and sometimes I just do it because I feel like it. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I just go, I'm going to shoot a studio portrait today with a 70 to 200 because I want to. It's not because it's different or better or what have you.
No.
Like, just enjoy it. That's what we're here for, right?
And that's it. And it's one of those things. It's like, at the end of the day, use the gear that you want to use. We should totally cut that little excerpt. It's just like, primes are overrated. Just watch the reel, watch the comments and the likes.
There's another thing. Somebody said to me, don't buy a 20mm prime for wedding photography, and I went, why? Like, think of the things that you can do that's creative with a 20mm as a stills photographer. I'm sure there's plenty of applications, but like, you know, when we did that primes video and we came to the end and they said consider the 20mm, purely out of the fact that you can just do things that you wouldn't have thought of, and don't stay in a box. Try and do other things. You know.
Go on then. What's your overrated gear then?
My overrated gear, I would probably say my 85mm.
You're saying that, okay. Why that?
Because I love it so much, but I use it way more than I probably should.
I think what people realise about 85s is that everyone's had an 85 at one point, and they are good lenses, and you know, by all means have them in your thing. I think people tend to switch back to like a 35 or a 50.
I did that.
Or then they go further, go for like a 135 or a 70 to 200.
Yeah, I've tried them all at some point.
Because it's like, everyone's tried them all at one point. I've had a 70 to 200. I had the Sigma Sport. 70 to 200.
Yeah.
It was heavy as hell.
Oh yeah, but amazing lens though.
Oh,
incredible lens.
It was prime on literally every level, and I liked it a lot. But
Well, like the 85 is the one, and you'll see it in my videos. I rave about it all the time, and I love it, and it will always be in my bag. But I do use it way more than I should. Because I remember when we did that one on the 35, the 50, the 85, and I was like, I got to send Stuart photos of the 50mm lens samples, and I've realised that I've done maybe 2 shoots with the 50mm, but I've owned it as long as the 85 and 35. So maybe I should.
Maybe that's your underrated. That's your underrated gear, because the 50 is really good.
Oh yeah, 50 is like essential and amazing. And going back to when I first started, it was the first sort of proper lens that I bought. But then when you start exploring other things, you go away from that. You go to 35, you go to 85, you go to 100mm macros. Those are really good. But yeah, the 50mm is, I would say, underrated on the basis of the fact that we just don't use it as often. Got something in my eye.
So,
have I asked you what your most underrated one is?
My most underrated? Oh, okay.
He absolutely loves his Nikon camera.
I don't have a Nikon camera.
And you love wearing a Nikon t-shirt, like every video.
My most underrated thing that I do come back to quite a lot, and I don't necessarily use as much as before, but when it comes to like rigging out cameras, I find I think they've changed the system, and to be fair, from when I originally bought them, they probably needed to update it. But there is these Gian clips.
Okay.
I'll show you. Hang on a second.
Yeah. I wasn't entirely sure where you were going, so
No,
that's good.
well, I'm going into the office.
So whilst I have Stuart go out in the office to get another thing, really important thing is don't forget to like, comment and subscribe on our channel. We keep asking you every video, and there's a reason. It's because it really, really helps. So do your absolute best to comment, like and share. Tell your mates, tell your mums, tell your dads, tell your brothers and your sisters, tell your uncles and your aunties. And Stuart's back. Here we go.
So it's this. It's these clips.
Oh yes, I've seen these, but I've always wondered what they actually are. I thought it was just part of this.
So when I used to do weddings, and I think it was more useful for when I did weddings, I literally put it on everything. I'd put it on separate heads. I'd put it on separate, Yeah. And I find them really useful. And these days, they've actually started putting this system in a lot of tripods. So I believe the Sarui ones have got it. A few of the Benro ones have got it. And it's a really cool system.
Yeah. Actually looks really good, to be fair. Talking of really cool new things that you've bought, and you can see what I'm staring at, Stuart, which is your giant laptop.
It's not giant.
No, mine's bigger.
Yeah, well, let's not get into that. That's going to be taken as a camera center out of context.
Sure. Yeah. But how essential would you say your computer has been in terms of like your workflow, editing process, working at camera center? Those kind of.
The laptop has, I wouldn't have been able to get through the amount of videos that I have to do, because it's not just these 3 videos a week that I produce, it's the ad content, and the short form stuff and everything like that. Yeah. Where before a podcast would probably take me a day or so to edit, I can edit it within 2-3 hours.
Yeah, when you had that laptop, you smashed it out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you did 2 or 3 in one day.
And this comes from, I come from a place where I've had the iMac Pro, which I'm looking to sell. So get in touch if you're looking to do it. And then I also had a Windows laptop. The Windows laptop for me wasn't reliable, but that's all because I've always had issues with Windows laptops.
Yeah. Okay. So then, ultimate question: Mac or Windows for
Mac.
video?
For me, it's Mac. I went to Windows on the recommendation of a friend, and it
was wrong.
I think it ended up proving to me that it would I am a Mac user, and I like them for a very specific reason. It's the user interface, it's the reliability,
I agree.
and I'd constantly had, and it may be just unlucky with the Windows laptops that I've bought, but I am a Mac user, and I do very much like them, and I think they're really well made for what they are. Yeah. I do find them funny every now and then, like when it came to Apple, they were like, let's put this screen bar at the front. And then everyone complained that they got rid of the SD card thing, and they were like, maybe we need to put an SD card thing.
Less of a keyboard and smaller trackpad.
And then let's put a HDMI, a full size HDMI in as well, which is really useful.
Yeah. Well, I of course, and this is another thing that we have in common, Stuart, is that I recently bought myself a new laptop. Yeah. As well, I've got a 16-inch.
He looks funny.
I do look funny. Do you want to see that? Let me go and get it.
Yeah,
it's now Stuart's time to keep you occupied, so enjoy. Over to you, Stuart.
So make sure you like, follow, and subscribe if you want to see more of this hilarity, where we're going to be talking about camera gear, but also general fun little conversations as well. He seems to have lost his laptop, so he's currently running about like a headless chicken on a day which is actually quite hot outside.
Right, I excuse the fact that it's actually really dirty at the moment, and I always forget which one's to open it, but you can see here it's...
What? It's basically covering you. Yeah. Look at it.
I know. Look, I can literally.
Why?
Because
you're tiny.
I am tiny, but I like a big screen.
It's a big enough screen.
It's not.
And I've got another screen up there.
Yeah, but I also have this on a really good deal because I actually bought a refurbished one.
This is refurbished as well.
Yeah, but this one was £600 cheaper than the brand new one.
Yeah, this was like £1,000 cheaper than a brand new.
Sorry.
Fight me.
Okay. But no, I always prefer bigger screens. So like when I'm editing, I'm often dealing with like 1,000 or 2,000 images at a time. So having more space on the screen just allows me to edit.
Why don't you just get yourself a monitor?
Because I would rather it be portable.
Get yourself a portable monitor.
I don't want a portable monitor when I've got one built into the fucking computer.
Fair enough. I'm a big fan of, this has been like the only way I'm able to produce the amount of content I am is because of this laptop.
And I will say credit to where it's due, their M2 chips are amazing.
Yeah, because like, I've heard multiple things from like Linus Tech Tips, which have been going through a whole controversy recently, but we don't need to get into that. That they haven't necessarily been like a massive improvement on the previous model, but I must admit I've seen it, and it gets to the point where I can pretty much edit a podcast at like 3 times speed. Which is good when you want to just get an initial cut done.
Yeah, but you've got the M2 Max, is it? Pro Max chip?
Ultra,
is it? So mine's an M2 Pro chip, which for photo is more than
Max.
Yeah, you're obviously going to need something a bit bigger because you're doing video, right? But for photography, like the M2 Pro chip, amazing.
This is the perfect size as well. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
This is amazing.
Do you know what annoys me about the larger size? Is there's just too much space. It's like look how much space there.
Yeah, but that's space you can put like awesome stickers and stuff.
But you haven't put any awesome stickers. You've just hidden it with that.
I haven't yet put any awesome stickers on it. Okay. I was going to torture you by putting a Nikon sticker right here. And then
no, if you touch this laptop with a Nikon, I will light that on fire.
No, I mean I put it on mine, not on yours. Yeah.
I probably need to not take that out because it makes it sound like I really don't like Nikon.
But
that's one thing I think Sony should do again. Is the Veos. Do you remember the Sony Veos? They were in like Bond. They were always advertised in James Bond films, and it was their laptop. They ditched making them, but they were actually legit really cool laptops.
Like when I watched a Bond movie, I was like, "Oh, watch," Omega or Aston Martin.
And that's been a really cool discussion overall. If you guys got any ideas as to what you would want us to talk about in the future, me and Tyler will do these every now and then if we need to fill in a week between guests. I hope you can do this, Biff.
I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it.
Yeah, it's nice that we get to present stuff together because I've been banging on about it for ages.
Well, we should do.
We should do more of them because we can become the new Ant and Dec.
Yeah, he's like the comedic.
Yeah, I'm the camp to his.
I am the camp to his man.
I've really enjoyed it. I hope you guys have really enjoyed it as well. And I think what's great is the fact that we get to do this all the time for a living.
Yeah.
Awesome. But if you guys want to see more, let us know what you want to see because that's going to be really important because then we can actually talk about stuff that you're interested in.
Yeah.
Which makes you actually watch them properly.
Camera gear, all
that camera gear.
Stuff.
If there's any rumors going around that you guys want us to discuss as well because we're looking at doing some sort of news type stuff too. We've got lots of things coming, so if you guys have something specific that you want, let us know in the comments, message us, you can email us, you can call us, you can do whatever you like.
Yeah, perfect.
There we go, we're rounded off.
Anyway, like, follow and subscribe. Have a good day.
Bye.
Goodbye from him.
Bye-bye.